All right. Hello friends, and welcome to a new vlog on my channel. I recently finished Barbarian's Tease in the Ice Planet Barbarians series by Dixon. I went to go see which book is the next book in the series for me to read, especially because Barbarian's Tease introduces a spin-off series. So do I read that series first, or do I read the rest of the Ice Planet Barbarians series first? And in looking at the author's reading list for all of the books that are interconnected in this series, I realized I completely skipped like 20 or 30 books in the series. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to read those before I continue on with where I was. In this video in particular, I'm going to read 3 of them in order to catch up. Those 3 are going to be Prison Planet Barbarian, The Corsair's Captive, and In the Corsair's Bed. Pretty much as far as I know, I need to read all the standalones, the Corsair's series, the Rizdaverse series in its entirety, and the Corsair Brothers books before I can move on to Ice Home. It's so much, but I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this. I haven't started Prison Planet Barbarian yet, so I'm gonna hop into that. I'm gonna let you guys know pretty much every single time that I have a thought, if I just want to scream about something that happens or whatever goes on as I read these 3 books. Okay, so I'm somewhat close to halfway through Prison Planet Barbarian. Try to say that 5 times fast. I think I'm around like 40% or something like that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a description of what this book is about, because it's going by real quick. It's also only like 120-ish pages. So our main character's name is Chloe. She, like a lot of the main characters of the Ice Planet Barbarians series, is a college student who got kidnapped in her sleep and was going to be sold as a slave, as one does. She was bought by this like high government official kind of alien who she kicked in the stomach, and because he was an alien, different anatomy and stuff, being kicked in the stomach is apparently like an insta-kill because he died. The type of alien that he is, though, they have basically like soulmates, and so he had 2, and when one dies, the others die as well. So 3 aliens died, except each of those aliens also had like 2 soulmates. So instead of 3 aliens total dying, 9 aliens total died with 1 kick. Yikes. So she is sent to prison because she killed 9 people. And because she's a human, and humans, my goodness, because humans are kind of a planet that the aliens aren't supposed to mess with. They're a very primitive society. It's illegal for like anybody to own humans. And so she's sent to this like maximum security prison because she's already like illegal to begin with, and now she's killed people. It's even worse. While she is there, she is paraded around a bunch of different wards, basically being like, ooh, look what we have. It's a human female. Clarabelle, get out of the Christmas tree. And she is seen by Jutari, who is our main male character. He is a Mesaka, which is a type of sock similar to how in the Ice Planet Barbarians series, the sockwi are types of sock. Sockwi are just sock who have a qui, which is a parasite that makes them able to live on the ice planet. So Misaka are a different type of sock, and I think it's part of sock biology, sock genealogy, that they drink their respect women juice, because this man is in like the maximum of maximum security in this prison, and he's like, I'm gonna protect this girl, I'm gonna get us out of here. So I'm at this point where they're together physically, not like in a relationship or anything. They are physically in the same place, and they're still in the prison, but he's probably going to get them out eventually somehow. It's been a very interesting read so far. A lot of similarities between this and Ice Planet Barbarians, while also being different. And I'm really excited to see how the rest of this goes. So I'm gonna hop back in, but I didn't want to just finish the book and then be like, okay, I finished it, here's what it's about, you know? Okay, so I finished Prison Planet Barbarian, and I liked it. The only thing that I could say that I didn't like about it is the fact that it is a novella and it is a standalone. I really wish that there was more and we could have seen more of their journey, let's say, because I don't want to give spoilers. Like, one of the things that I like about the Ice Planet Barbarians series is the fact that even though they're novellas, each one grows on top of the other into this long story of these human girls trying to live on this inhospitable ice planet. And so with this being a standalone, I know that we're not going to get much more. I do know that it is the start of both the Corsair series and the Rizdaverse, but I guess I'm just not sure how both of those series are going to build upon this, but I really wanted more of this, of seeing Chloe, I forgot their names, seeing them escape prison, I think we can say that, and their journey to what happens in the epilogue. Like, I enjoyed it as a concept, I just wanted more, either a full-length novel or even like a trilogy. It could have been a trilogy, so. Okay, so I read The Corsair's Captive, honestly, a few days ago, and then I never told you about it, so sorry, here we go. The Corsair's Captive is the first book in the, I think it's just the Corsairs series. It follows Kivian, who is the brother to Jutari, who was like the guy in Prison Planet Barbarian, so they're somewhat connected. Kivian is pretty much like a space pirate, and he has this whole thing that he dresses up in these elaborate clothes to make people think that he's just kind of stupid and he's kind of a fop, but he's like, no, that's definitely not me, though that's just a persona that I play. But the further you get into the book, you're like, I don't think this is a persona. I think you're making excuses so you can wear nice clothes. Anyway, he has this deal with this alien frog kind of character, and the frog, while they're like in the deal talking to each other, is like, oh hey, check out this human slave that I just bought. Isn't that like really cool? I'm so great. Like, they're outlawed. It's illegal to have human slaves, not because like slavery is illegal, let's be real, but because humans are like gross and nobody wants humans. But I got one and she was really expensive, and Kivian's like, I'm gonna steal her from you. And so he does. Her name is Fran, and much like every other girl in any of these books that I've been reading, the Ice Planet Barbarians, the Prison Planet Barbarian, I assume the rest of this Corsairs series, she was just kind of kidnapped in the middle of the night in her sleep, suddenly found herself being sold, and is just kind of like hopped into this world, really doesn't know anything. I liked this book a little bit more than I did Prison Planet Barbarian, but it's still not like my favorite of the books. I do find the idea of these space pirates interesting, and I'm excited for the next book in the series, which I will also be reading in this video, because I can't remember the guy's name, but I really like him so far. He is one of the space pirates. He's a medic, but he doesn't really think highly of himself. He thinks that he's really ugly because he has a scar. He sounds like Rahash from the Ice Planet Barbarians series, and Rahash is my favorite of the guys. And Rahash also had a thing where he was like, I'm super ugly because I have this giant scar on my face. But this character, who again I can't remember the name of, hopefully I will by the time I tell you about the next book, he's like nicer. He's actually somebody that you can talk to, even though he doesn't think too highly of himself. So I'm really excited to read his story. I'm really excited to see what happens there. So I will hop into that book and let you guys know how it goes. Surprise scene change. I am at my dad's right now, dog sitting for him while he is on vacation. If you hear noises in the background, like walking around or he's about to eat a carrot, it's just the dog. Are you scared of it? What? He just like jumped back from that, like, oh my god, carrot. So I started reading whatever the second book in this series is called. I'm never going to be able to remember all the titles of these. In the Corsair's Bed or something like that. I'm really enjoying it so far, but I am kind of worried. So this one follows Tarek, who is the really nice medic who's on the ship, and he's also like, he thinks that he's ugly, but I remember telling you about this. I'm excited to read his story because Rahash from the Ice Planet Barbarians series also thought that he was ugly, and he's my favorite. Therefore, Tarek's going to be my favorite because he's just pirate Rahash. But also nice, whereas Rahash is like really mean. Anyway, so he's just like around one of the hub city places. I don't really know what to call it. And he happens to see a slaver who is selling slaves, as slavers do. And one of them is a human who is in kind of rough shape. So he buys her because he can't just like walk away. He immediately like treats her wounds. He tells her that she's safe. Her name's Katrin. There's not too much that I know about her and like how she got here. I'm just assuming the normal one day she woke up and suddenly she was in space thing that all the girls seem to have. But I'm 33% of the way through this book right now, and it's a little bit scary because she's really feeling like she belongs here, or at the very least like she has found a place in this ship. Thank you. I do want your toy. You're so right. And that she's happy, but it's 33% of the way through the book, you know? Like, surely this isn't the end of our story, and yet we're kind of feeling like we're at the end of it. Ooh, look at this. I still have it. I went over that way. I still have it. Have a nap. So we'll see. Obviously something terrible is going to happen if we're having like good moments 33% of the way through the book. But we'll see. I just wanted to check in and say, you know, here's the basics of what it's about. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm excited to see Tarek. I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so I finished in the Corsair's bed a few hours ago, honestly. And then I took a nap, and then I started doing other things around the house, and now we're here. So I kind of enjoyed this. You know, it was pretty good. It's not my favorite that I've read in this Ruby Dixon multiverse, but it was one of the better ones, I would say. One of my top maybe 10 favorites. I know the last time that we talked about this book, I was a little bit hesitant because everything seemed to be doing really good and Kat seemed to be finding her place on the ship, but we were only 33% of the way through the book, so I was scared something terrible was going to happen. And I will tell you that I didn't really have to be worried that much. It's a lot more personal, the characters having problems with the idea of being in a relationship with somebody. You know, Kat was kidnapped in her sleep. She does eventually say her story that she was kidnapped in her sleep, just like every other girl who's ever been in one of these books. And with her backstory, getting into a relationship is maybe not the best idea for her, but then also with Tarek being so unbearably ugly and feeling like he's not really worth it, like people should be with other people because he's so ugly. You know, just them figuring out their insecurities, their stuff, and working through that in order to get a relationship. What are you doing, dog? Go eat your dinner. You looked at it, you sniffed it, and then you said you didn't want it? Are you silly? So with that being said, that is the last book that I'm going to be reading for this video. There's still 2 more books in the Corsairs series that I am excited to get into, and then whatever the next series is that I have to read in the reading order. But those will be for a different video at a later time. I need a little bit of a break from Ruby Dixon. You know, I like her books and her writing, but sometimes you just can't read like the same thing over and over and over again, the same author over and over again. So take a little bit of a break, and then I'll be back to this series to read some more. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed me talking about aliens and human girls getting kidnapped over and over and over again. And I will see you in my next video for whatever I have planned then. Maybe the rest of the series.